Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to IGN's WrestleFest. I'm Gregory James Miller alongside legendary WWE ring announcer, The Fink, Howard Finkel. We're here to introduce you to the superstars of WWE's Legends of WrestleMania.
That is correct, Gregory. Only in WWE Legends of WrestleMania from THQ can you play as the stars and managers that shaped professional wrestling into the juggernaut that it is today. And it's the only game where you can relive, rewrite, and redefine history.
That's right, Howard. More than 40 of the greatest superstars ever to step foot in the squared circle are in this game, and we have the honor of announcing their names right here tonight. Speaking of which, Howard, you're in the game.
Indeed I am, and I was absolutely thrilled to be asked, and I'm equally thrilled to be a part of it.
Howard, are you ready to get to the roster?
Am I ready? Gregory, if I could stand in front of 93,173 folks at the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania 3, I think I can handle it.
Howard, it's funny you bring up that March day from 1987, because our first wrestler is none other than the immortal Hulk Hogan.
And what a fitting way to announce the first superstar in the Legends of WrestleMania game. Hulk Hogan was the man that rewrote history. January 23rd, 1984, when he defeated the Iron Sheik, the phenomenon known as Hulkamania was born, and it cascaded through the decades. Hulk Hogan, a definite A+ to start the Legends of WrestleMania game roster.
Although many of Hogan's foes will never forget the atomic leg drop, it's easy to remember his famed match with one Andre the Giant.
The eighth wonder of the world, 500+ pounds. He was methodical, he was absolutely deliberate in what he did in the ring, but Andre the Giant, who had that tremendous match with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3, is another fitting candidate. Welcome to the Legends roster.
Of course, Andre's size made him a fan favorite, but Bobby the Brain Heenan, his manager, did everything he could to ruin that.
And Bobby the Brain Heenan, the first manager to be announced for the Legends of WrestleMania game. They did not call him the Brain for anything. Bobby was calculating. He knew exactly what to do when he was outside that ring, and at times inside the ring as well. It's a great, great addition, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
While you had to fear Heenan when he was outside the ring, it was the Iron Sheik you had to look for inside the ring.
Exactly, as he would say. The native of Tehran, Iran, former world champion, certainly an individual when he got into the ring you never knew what to expect, and many an opponent went down to defeat at the hands of the camel clutch. And I might add, he had a loaded boot, or so we thought, but he adamantly denied that, if you remember.
Oh, I remember, but I'd rather face his loaded boot than Brutus the Barber Beefcake's shears.
Well, if you wanted to face Brutus the Barber Beefcake, you would actually then perhaps have an unexpected and probably an unwanted trip to the barber shop, because the barber styled and profiled his way to many a win.
If Brutus took you to the barber shop, I don't want to know where Big John Studd was taking you.
364 pounds, this was a true individual. He called himself a giant. So much, if you recall, at one time when he had his issues with Andre the Giant back in the mid-'80s, he called himself the Giant Stud. And then he insulted Andre and called him Andrea the Giant. Moving forward a few years, of course, in 1989, the first Royal Rumble match on pay-per-view, he was the winner. His legacy will live on.
Everyone will remember his match at WrestleMania for $15,000, the Body Slam Challenge. But if you really want to make some money, you might as well go from the NFL to the WWE, and that's what the Junkyard Dog did.
Well, the Junkyard Dog, Gregory, was an individual who, amongst very few, made a transition from the gridiron inside to the squared circle. The Junkyard Dog, another very popular individual when he joined WWE in 1984. He would come into the ring, he had style, he knew how to get it done, and then when he used to grab them cakes and pick his opponent up and throw him down for the thump, it was lights out for his opponent.
Howard, if we're going to talk about charisma, the name Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, comes to mind.
Without a doubt, and he's still competing today in WWE rings. But this is the Legends of WrestleMania game we're talking about, and his career certainly has had some tremendous highs. Speaking of high, do you remember in 1996 when WrestleMania was held in Anaheim, California, and Shawn Michaels, for his championship match, ascended from the roof and came down into the ring? It was breathtaking, to say the least, and the Heartbreak Kid continues to defy the odds, goes in that ring each and every day. You'll have the chance to play him.
When you think of HBK, you think of finesse, but Howard, when I think of getting my head kicked in, I think of Bam Bam Bigelow.
The Beast from the East, from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Excuse me when I say this, but this guy was born to run. And no doubt, when he got into the squared circle, he was a big man. And one of the things, Gregory, that I really admired about big men of that stature, he could move, he was agile, he was quick as a cat. He was a very unique individual that certainly deserves his place in the Legends of WrestleMania game.
Howard, if we're going to talk about legendary big men, clearly Sergeant Slaughter comes to mind.
Indeed he does. Sergeant Slaughter, when he entered WWE rings, was despised. Then as his career moved on, he was loved. Then he was despised again in the early 90s, what with the conditions of the world. He capitalized on that per se. But now, Sergeant Slaughter can look back, as we all can look back, and we can all appreciate and admire how great of an individual talent he was.
A decade from now, people will still be talking about the Cobra Clutch. And Howard, I bet they'll be talking about polka dots and the bionic elbow as well.
You're referring, of course, to the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. What a great addition to the Legends roster. This man embodied the soul, the mind, and the spirit of the commoner. The people really got behind Dusty. He talked, you believed, he went in the ring, he got the job done. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, bionic elbow, polka dots and all. We're glad to have him.
Our next addition to the roster is none. Oh, I'm sorry, Fink. I've been informed here by our affiliate KFI in Brisbane that we have to go off the air. Yeah, anyways,
what?
Up next is your local news with weather with Ramblin' Ryan Clements. Good night and have a turnbuckle tomorrow.